Diddy is going to walk away from this case, and I'm going to tell you why. But before I tell you why, I just want to let you know that I do not condone any type of domestic violence. I don't condone any harm to women. I just want to let you guys know that. Now, this is why Diddy's going to walk away from this case. Now, as you know, this court case consists of a jury. The jury consists of 8 men and 4 women. And if any one person on that jury decides that they don't believe Diddy did this, then it becomes a mistrial or they just drop the case altogether. Now, in looking at this particular case, Diddy is being tried for a RICO Act, sex trafficking, and taking a sex worker across state lines. Those are the 3 charges. As the case began, they seem to be trying Diddy on personal opinion, like public opinion. They're trying him in a court of public opinion. And what I mean by that is everything they're asking him have absolutely nothing to do with the charges that were brought against him. Now, listen, I'm not an attorney. I'm just a dumb comedian. I'm a dumb clown who's just giving his opinion in the matter, similar to a layperson, a person perhaps sitting on that jury. And as I said, it's 8 men and 4 women. Once again, I do not condone any type of physical violence or any kind of domestic disputes amongst women or men. Now, in this case, it seems to me to be a case between 2 swingers that were in a sex-fueled, drug-raged relationship. And I believe that the young lady kept coming back. A lot of people say she kept coming back due to what's called Stockholm Syndrome. When they say Stockholm Syndrome, I looked up to see what Stockholm Syndrome was. Stockholm Syndrome came from a bank robbery in 1973 in Sweden, Stockholm, where some bank robbers took, I believe, 6 hostages. They held these hostages in the bank. When they caught the robbers and went to court, for whatever reasons, the hostages didn't want to testify. And as a matter of fact, while the hostages were with these bank robbers, they began to help the bank robbers, and they got on the bank robbers' side. So I don't know if this Stockholm Syndrome is just something used because they wanted to get a conviction at that time, and it stood the test of time. I don't know, but I looked it up, and that's what it was. Somehow these people were in the bank, and the police was like, well, why don't they want to tell on them or sue or do any of this? And they just did not. They just felt like these bank robbers was doing a good job, and they were for the people or something like that. They converted them. I don't know why they did that, but that is Stockholm Syndrome. Now, in the case of Cassie was a young lady, you know what I mean, with the stars in her eyes. She wanted to make it as a singer, actress, whatever. She wanted to live her dreams. Before meeting Diddy, she was dating a guy by the name of Ryan Leslie, who was, I believe, 7 or 8 years her elder, and he was a music executive too. That was her boyfriend. She was introduced to Diddy. She sees Diddy. She sees a lot more opportunity, a lot more fame. And to me, it just seems that she decided to say, you know what? I need to dump this Ryan Leslie guy and get with Diddy. That led to a relationship of swinging, of exotic vacations, lots of money, and what have you. And in the testimony, in the cross-examination of the testimony, she's seen saying, I love you. I want to come back to you. I don't want to leave you. And one of the things in the cross-examination is they never asked her in the cross-examination, were you forced to stay? Could you leave at any time? Was there a time during you guys' freak-offs or whatever where you said, I have had enough, I am leaving? And if you said that, were there goons at the door? Did somebody tie you up? Did somebody say, no, you could not leave? Did Diddy jump up and say, you can't leave? In that case, that will be a very, very much coercion, and he should go to jail. But that question was not answered for whatever reason. They're just trying Diddy's character, like him being a bad person, him being a bad boyfriend. And I understand that what he did was heinous. It was terrible. But should he spend the rest of his life in jail for that? I'm not too sure about that. Now, if the charges in which you got the RICO charge, which is a racketeering charge. In the case of a racketeering charge, that would mean he has a criminal organization. Like he's at the top of the food chain of this criminal organization, and he sends his goons out in vans dressed as clowns, and they drive through neighborhoods looking for young, beautiful women. And they jump out with machine guns and they tie those women up and they drive those women across state lines to meet the diddler, where he not only has sex with these women, but then he begins to sell these women as property or chattel to other men, and he makes money off of that. Well, that can't be proved because Diddy has run a legitimate business of that being bad boy for the last 20 years, liquor deals, all this money is legal. The guy pays his taxes, and he's never had any prior criminal convictions. Now, listen, I do not condone any of the things he does. I don't even think he's a good guy. I think he's messed over a lot of people. I think karma meets us in very strange ways. And could him being down for 5 or 6 months be his karma? Probably. Could his life being flashed for us as be his karma? Yeah. Is the 20 million karma? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. But do I think this man is going to walk out that courtroom? Absolutely, because none of this is making any sense at this point. And as this case goes on, they have 12 jurors. I'm pretty sure those jurors are getting tired. They're going to get bogged down. They're going to get wore out. They're going to start to scratch their head like, what the hell am I here for? Could you imagine getting a traffic ticket and you go to court for speeding, but you're trying to fight the ticket, but they're just bringing in random people like ex-girlfriends, people you used to work with that didn't like you to come in and testify on you being a bad person, and you sitting there like, yo, what the hell is this about? I am here for a speeding ticket. That is what seems to be going on in this courtroom to me. I don't know about you, but once again, I'm just a dumb comic. Please don't let this get you too emotional. I do not condone any type of domestic violence against women, and I still think Diddy is a bad guy. But will he walk? Absolutely. He's gonna walk. He's leaving. He's gonna walk out of that courtroom. They're gonna be bumping some bad boy music. We ain't going nowhere. Something. He gonna do a little Diddy dance, and he's out. Also, too, when you look at some more charges, so he has the RICO, he has the sex trafficking charge. Sex trafficking charge, I believe that most of these acts were consensual. When you look at P. Diddy, if we go back in the history of time of P. Diddy, there were women in line to get into these parties. Like they were lined up. Like to get the invite to said Diddy party was like a trophy. And I don't know if people forgot that or what has happened. And since the beginning of entertainment, where you have rock stars, rappers, big time celebrities, women typically line up for these men to be around other men like them and to get certain opportunities where women are even willing to offer their bodies to another man just to get to that man. Even in the case when I'm listening to Cassie and she's saying what she's going through, she's saying she loves him. She didn't want to leave. She wanted to come back. When I hear her say, you know, she's married to Alex Fine, but then she cheats on Alex Fine and goes back to Diddy. When I look at this case and I just see, and I'm not doing any victim blaming because once again, I do not condone any type of violence against women. But is there any accountability on her part? And this is just my opinion. I believe so. I believe she saw opportunity. Maybe things didn't quite work out the way she wanted, but they did kind of work out because she's up $30 million. She got 20 million from Diddy and another 10 million from the hotel. She wouldn't have made that in her career as a artist. She wouldn't have made that. So do I feel she's up? Absolutely, I feel she's up. Now, as far as the trafficking charge, they say, man, well, maybe they can get him because it was a trafficking charge and also flying escorts across state lines. Okay. Could they get him on that? Who knows? Was it consensual? Probably. I think they will prove that most of the acts were consensual. If they're to get him on those charges, they would have to lock up the whole NBA, NFL. They would have to lock up damn near every entertainer and politician and any man of wealth and any regular man has maybe flown out a girl he's dating or messing around with. Like, because that came down from the Mann Act. And back in the day, the Mann Act was something that was put into place when Jack Johnson, the famous boxer, was dating white women. It was used to discourage black men from messing with white women. Hey, Shannon Sharp. But listen, they painted the Mann Act with a broad stroke, but you have to narrow it down. The Mann Act now would have to show that when you're trafficking these women, you are actually making money from the distribution of sex. I don't think it necessarily would apply if you are having sex with person. And if they are, if Diddy did allegedly traffic somebody or drive sex worker across state lines, sex worker should be required to go to jail as well because they got the money. Actually, it seems that they would be more at fault. And also, too, Diddy just observed, he would observe Cassie being penetrated by these workers. So in that case, what does he have to do with that if he's watching, right? She put the money in hand, but you're going to go back and say, well, he made her do it. Did he? Did he really make her do it? Did he make her do it? Did he hold a gun to her head? Could she leave when she wanted to? And if that's not the case, why would she be married to the help? Why would she be married to the personal trainer that Diddy hired with 3 children? Why is he still walking around? Wouldn't that guy have been gotten rid of? If that was the case, wouldn't that guy been gotten rid of and she's back with him or he gets back with her? And even when you listen to the testimony, she was still writing texts and missing this guy because it gets hard. We have to understand, we have to be real. You know, when a woman is with a man and she's used to flying private jets, staying in luxurious hotels, it's hard to go back. You know, it's hard to stand in that line, in that coach line, or even in a first class line. It gets a little more, it's just difficult. Your time, it's like, why am I doing this? And most women, they probably wouldn't even want to fly anymore if they can't fly private. It's just, things get hard. That's all I'm saying. So could it be a money grab? Probably. He was sued civilly. She wrote a book. She said, listen, I'm going to put this book, give me 30 million. I'm going to put this book out. If you don't give me the 30 million, I'm going to sue you. Now, this is all in the documents. So what is happening here? So he ends up giving her the 20 million. Anyway, this tape comes out. The video comes out. The video kicks off everything. That opens up the investigation. And in that investigation, in the civil suit, that opens up a thing called discovery. And in that discovery, an overzealous attorney general, who's not the attorney general anymore in the Southern District of New York, says, hey, we got to get this guy, because we get this guy, that will make a name for me. I'll be more famous. This is like a big whale. So they go and get him. And now here we are in court. He has this super team of lawyers, and we're watching this case unfold. And to me, just being the silly, stupid comedian who knows nothing that I am, it seems to me that the case is going downhill and Diddy's going to walk. That's what it looks like to me. I don't really know what else to say. It looks like he is definitely going home. And furthermore, like I said, you have 8 men and 4 women. Those 12 jurors have to have a unanimous decision that this man was involved in racketeering and sex trafficking and taking sex workers across state lines. They would have to unanimously agree. If they don't unanimously agree, the case is a mistrial or it's dropped. And I strongly don't see them agreeing. That is my take. Diddy will walk. Listen, if you like what I just said or you like me, man, please like, subscribe to my channel. I rarely say that shit, but like, subscribe to the channel and call me. But he's going to walk. Call me.